I don't know 100% how this video is actually going to be done. I just know that I have a lot of this stuff recorded, especially the story bits that I did play, because I did finish it yesterday. As you can see, I am in Penacony, and I do thoroughly enjoy what we got when it came to the 2.0 story, and I'm very excited for 2.1 and 2.2, and then the end for 2.3. So in today's video, I am going to be making a non-spoiler slash spoiler review, with the first part being non-spoiler review, and then the last part being, if you haven't played the story, go ahead and click off, and then I'll let you know when that happens. I will be going over the story and also the companion quest that has Sparkle and Black Swan in it, just so I can have it all encompassed in my thoughts about it. And right now we're gonna just go ahead and go straight into the non-spoiler portion of this. And as I said, my face is not gonna be in it for the most part. I didn't record my face cam on. I have a lot of my reactions, a lot of the laughs I had when looking at the story. I do mind. Do I actually get it? Give me the 10K. No way. Where did Will go? Well, let's go ahead with the non-spoiler version of this review. So for 2.0, the main story, I do think that this was a pretty good building block for what we're about to see in 2.1 and in 2.2, and then in the ending in 2.3. I think they did a very good job in setting the stage for a lot of the stuff, setting the stage, especially with how they've been phrasing a lot of these words in the story. It's been really good. A lot of the characters have shown their worth when it comes to what they're doing in the story. And one thing when it comes to some of the characters, a lot of characters are either built out very, very well, and I'm not going to say who until I get to the spoiler portion. And then there are some characters that I feel fall a little bit flat, which I will talk about later. And that kind of upsets me with some of the things they did in the story, with certain moments being impactful because of said character. And I just felt like they didn't build that character enough to be to that portion of degree when it comes to how hype it was, or how emotional it was when that sort of scene happened. I will be 100% clear with what I'm talking about in the spoiler portion of the review. But so far, I really do give this story around an 8 or a 7. When it comes to what they've been doing with the story, they introduced a lot of really cool characters. They did really well with introducing them and showing their importance to the Trailblazer, and also with a lot of the ways they are angling a lot of these scenes, a lot of the type of mystery that they're trying to provoke with this story. It's been really great. I would put this below Belobog at the current moment, and of course, me saying that, Belobog is already completed, and while we have REHOO and it's kind of completed, we kind of were left on a cliffhanger for REHOO for a minute. I would say that right now, Belobog would be on top still, because of course we've already finished it, so we got the full context of everything that's in it. Belobog would be right there, then it would be Penacony, and then it would be REHOO. I just think the REHOO had very bad passage or time length or timeline type of beat when it comes to what I feel like the story of the REHOO was. I feel like a lot of the anticlimactic stuff that came out of it, like with Blade meeting Don Hung, with Yanqing coming into the mix, with Fantalia coming out, I think a lot of that was pushed into the same area very quickly for no reason. And a lot of the buildup we had with like Don Hung having nightmares, with Blade being a very apparent thing, with the Stellaron Hunters being on the REHOO, they really fell short, because Blade came in, just threw the sword, was like, oh, you're dead, now my job is done. You turn into the regular Don Hung, and then Blade is like, well, my job is done, and he just disappears. That's the only thing I hated, because they built that up to be such a pivotal moment for Don Hung, and of course we get a Mibber to Lune when that ends up happening. So I just didn't enjoy the way the REHOO carried its story. At Penacony, I think they're doing so much better. I think they are doing better than the beginning of the REHOO arc, and also Belobog at the same time. I think they're doing really good right now in setting the stage for the building blocks that are going to come tumbling down very soon, which I am all for it. Now to go forward and talk about the spoiler portion of the review. Now, when it came to Penacony and us basically getting there at the very start, that was a really nice environment. How it looked all busy, like it wasn't desolate like Belobog, it wasn't kind of calming like REHOO. You could clearly tell everything was going wild around you, and it was just a really nice feel, especially when you're meeting Aventurine, you're meeting Sunday, you're meeting Robin, which I knew it. I have a clip, and I'm gonna be putting clips around everywhere, where I knew Robin wasn't Robin, unless she had already died beforehand, or she didn't die yet and then she died later. That's what I was thinking. Oh my god, she sounded like a robot. Personally, I knew it. I felt like that wasn't Robin, and I knew it because her voice just did not sound right. And the same way Himiko, where I think it was March or someone pointed out, where that doesn't sound like a singer ready to sing at the festival. That doesn't look like the rising star is ready for the show, which is a very big problem. I knew something was weird with that, and I knew she wasn't actually Robin. Now, did I know it was Sparkle? No, I did not know that, but this is super cool. I really like that little, I guess you say foreshadow, because you can see that at the very end of the story arc where Robin is right there, and he's like, bro, that's not you. Stop playing around, Sparkle. I'm getting tired of this right now. I thought that was so freaking cool. Going into where we go into the dreamscape, and we're talking about Firefly, we're with Firefly, we're spending time with him. Sampo is there. We started doing trash can stuff. I thought that was really good. I think they did really well with having that streamlined from, you know, point A to point B to point C, dealing with the memory bubbles and all that type of stuff. I knew Sampo was just not really there for fun. We were gonna get absolutely tricked and all that type of stuff, and I really like that small bit of Penacony for sure. The middle of Penacony is where I have a problem, because the middle of Penacony, where we're in the, you know, skyscrapers, and we're constantly being told by Firefly, oh, we're almost there to my secret spot. Keep doing these puzzles for like an hour or something like that. Or I'm exaggerating it, but keep doing these puzzles for a fat ton of time, and we'll be 100% fine. We'll be at their secret base, and we'll be, you know, a-okay. We make it to the secret base, and then she immediately tells us with no prior notice, with no prior hints, which is a problem I have, especially with Firefly as a character, which I love her as a character. She is really cool. I really like her design. I really like her as a character slightly. I just don't like what they did with her, which I am going to be talking about right now, which is they take us to that really nice spot in the skyscraper where we're able to overlook the city, where, you know, things are being built, the sunset's coming up. We take the selfie, and she tells us that she's sick. She tells us that this is the best opportunity for her to be herself, because she's kind of like bedridden, or she's just very sick to the point where she can't move in the real world. And getting that watchmaker's legacy is like the only way to stop it or to help her. And they tell us this all at the same time. And immediately after this moment, after this really good moment, which I think is a good point to make us feel a certain way about Firefly, where we're like, oh, like, I hate that she's like this. I want to, you know, care for her. I want to make sure that she's okay. And then they immediately go into going and finding the memory zone meme, or the shadow, or the death question mark, all that type of stuff, and then she just dies. Like, in my honest opinion, I had to look back at Twitter and YouTube just to see why people were crying. And when I figured out it was about Firefly, I kind of question mark super hard, because I felt like what they were leading up to kind of didn't make sense for her to be gone so quick. I think doing it in 2.2, 2.1, where we've had time to marinate with Firefly, we had time to feel the way we feel about Firefly with her being sick. Maybe they should have made her struggle a little bit doing small activities, like she said. As she said in the story, it doesn't come like very easily to see to everyone else in the world, but for you, everything is slower. You start doing things slower than everyone, and it's hard to notice when other people are doing things around you. So it's not like we were never supposed to see like her illness in front of her or in front of us, but more like it should have been a little bit apparent that she was slowing down, that she was losing certain things, that she was feeling a certain way after a certain amount of time having this illness, and to show us that she has this illness and it almost immediately killed her off in like the first hour afterwards. That to me just felt like wasted potential in the way they carried Firefly, and how they wanted us to be angry, how they made us wanting to be sad. And for me personally, the only thing that had me off guard was just how brutal question mark the kill actually was, because they stab her, killing her basically, and then it just goes again into an extra stab, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, chill out. Oh my god. That's weird. That's weird. And looking at that was the only thing that took me off guard. The kill itself didn't really phase me. I was like, I really like Firefly. I want to like Firefly. I want to care that she just got absolutely decimated like prior, and I just don't feel it. I just feel like they should have done more with Firefly. I feel like they should have done more. and with, you know, Acheron and how her red letters and stuff like that were being a very important portion of the story that we still don't know why those red letters are there. I don't want to watch any videos and talking about why exactly it is there, just because I want to see if I can figure it out. I feel like the red letters is like her taking over or her not abiding by something that's controlling her or something like that. I don't know. It's weird, and I'm very glad that Penacony has a lot of mystery to it and a lot of pointing fingers. I think right now, personally, my favorite character in the story when it comes to how they've been built, how they've been talked about, is especially Aventurine. I think he's just flushed out as a really great character, whether it be protagonist, antagonist for the story, because he's kind of in the middle, in limbo, talking to a bunch of different people, scheming with a bunch of different stuff, especially with how he had Black Swan help us get away from Acheron, and how they're saying that Acheron is a bad person, how they're saying, you know, Sam is there with the Stellaron Hunters and Silver Wolf reference. I love that Silver Wolf pop-up and all that type of stuff. I just thought the story was pretty nice. I just don't like the way they carry certain characters. Like, I feel like Black Swan was very plain. They didn't really do much with her character besides, oh, I was paid off. I like the memories that people make, so I'm gonna keep you by because you have very rich memories. And then I got paid off by Aventurine, so that's the only reason I'm here. I didn't like that. I didn't like how they did. Acheron has mystery to her, so I'm gonna let it marinate for 2.1, 2.2, so I'll let her be. Aventurine has been absolutely amazing with his character from start to end, so I really like his character. And then Firefly, I just feel like they tried to force a sympathy moment or an empathy moment with her by killing her off so freaking soon after telling us, oh, I'm sick, and then I die literally an hour later. They gave us no time to marinate with that. They gave us no time to be with this character and care for her, for the reason, you know, she wants to be here because she's sick. She can't do anything else. And the way Trailblazer, I don't know how it is for the female version, but like, you see that he cares and he's getting upset and he's getting angry. And a lot of the stuff that happens in the story, you can't really control. Like getting mad at Acheron, that kind of makes no sense because it came out of nowhere. Like, she says she could have drawn her blade, but she didn't. I still feel like that was not her fault. Firefly should not have been there, even though that was her main goal. I just feel like they tried to force the Firefly thing way too quickly. So other than that, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you thought about the story. Let me know what you thought about all these characters that were in the story. I kind of like the way I did this video. It may be all over the place. I don't know 100% the way I would rate the story or look at the story in a more sequential matter. I just basically said what I wanted to say, which main thing is the characters itself. I think that's a pretty big idea that I was looking at the most, because I really like the characters that they bring into these Hoyoverse games, because they all have their own backgrounds, they all have their own situations, their own goals, their own ideals, and that's what I kind of look forward to the most. A lot of these other characters like Sunday, like Robin, like Sparkle, a lot of these guys take a very back behind the scenes type of look when it comes to what they're doing in the premise of things. Even though Sparkle is more of the forefront, I do think right now she is not as influential as most of the other characters. And also the companion quest, stop with the Hanu gameplay, please. I did not enjoy that portion. I really like the end of it because it gave us more of Black Swan and what she can actually do and the ideals behind Sparkle. I like that type of stuff. That was really, guys, that was really nice. The Hanu gameplay, let's just not do that. So other than that, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know what you thought about the story. Let me know what you thought about the characters, all that type of stuff. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.